Welcome to the Glenn Miller Memorial at Cliffe. In October 3rd, 1944, it was a cold autumn evening in rural Northamptonshire, at a place known only as Station 367. A man stood in a hangar, baton in hand, leading one last performance for the troops. That man was Glenn Miller, and this would be his final concert on British soil. Station 367, better known today as RAF Cliffe, during the war it was home to the United States Army Air Forces, specifically the 20th Fighter Group. By 1944, this quiet countryside airfield had become a hub of intense aerial activity, supporting missions deep into Nazi-occupied Europe. Inside one of the station's hangars, hundreds of servicemen gathered, pilots, ground crew, mechanics, all taking a rare moment away from the war. Glenn Miller and the Army Air Forces band took to the stage. They played the music of home, swing, jazz, rhythm, a reminder of everything these men were fighting for. It wasn't just entertainment, it was morale, it was escape, it was hope. Outside that very hangar sat the aircraft that defined Station 367, P-51 Mustangs and P-47 Thunderbolts. These aircraft launched daily missions across Europe, often facing heavy anti-aircraft fire and enemy fighters. Many of the men listening to Miller that night would be airborne again within hours. By October 1944, the Allies had landed in Normandy and were pushing into occupied Europe. But the war was far from over. Every mission carried a risk, every takeoff could be the last. And that made moments like this concert unforgettable. No one in that hangar could have known that this was Glenn Miller's last performance in the UK. Over 2 months later, in December 1944, Miller would board a flight to France and disappear over the English Channel. His fate remains one of the great mysteries of the war. But on that night, October 3rd, 1944, at Station 367, in a hangar filled with tired airmen, Glenn Miller gave them something priceless. Not just music, but a moment of peace in the middle of a war. Today, RAF Cliffe is quiet. The aircraft are gone, the war long over. But if you listen closely, you can almost still hear the band playing. Here in the quiet countryside near RAF Cliffe, once stood Station 367. Today, a simple memorial marks the site, honouring the American airmen of the 20th Fighter Group who flew from here during World War II. From this very ground, P-51 Mustangs and P-47 Thunderbolts roared into the skies, escorting bombers and fighting for control of Europe. Among these remembered is Glenn Miller, who gave his final UK performance here, lifting spirits before vanishing into history. This memorial stands not just for the fallen, but for courage, sacrifice, and remembrance.